I'm really happy to be here, I can tell you that. I'm thrilled. I've been enjoying the campaign, really. More so probably before the preliminary than after, but I've actually really loved getting back out and talking to people at their doors. That's something that I always enjoyed, and I've enjoyed this summer quite a bit doing it. You meet the most wonderful people at their doors, and they open up to you. So that's been very encouraging.
I guess I'm sure we've asked you this already, but I would love to hear from you. Why back on the campaign trail again for the job you held for quite a bit?
Yeah. Well, I love the city of Quincy, plain and simple. And I've been watching the city, my city, our city, and I don't like the direction it's heading in. I've seen a redevelopment initiative in our downtown, which should be a source of pride for us, a source of renewal, if you will, that was begun under my administration, lay dormant for 8 years. Mistake after mistake, false promise after false promise. And I believe I can help. I see a city that I believe is mismanaged, quite honestly. Whether you're talking about failure to appeal the flood maps, Quincy Center garage has been closed for 4 years. The loss of our hospital with really no discussion beforehand or heads up or fight to keep it open. A pay-to-play approach to snow removal. And really, and truly, I experienced that winter. And, I know how much snow dropped. And I know the city didn't do its job in that snow removal. And I know that the contractors didn't do their job properly. And we, as taxpayers, had to pay twice as much as we should have because the job wasn't done properly in the beginning. So I see a lot of things that I question for our city. And I believe I can make a difference, and that's why I'm running, clearly, the only reason.
Your time in Holbrook, did you compare and contrast? Did you see things that were similar? Sort of, what kind of lessons learned from there?
It was a great lesson. First of all, as in everywhere I've gone throughout my careers, I've made wonderful friends in Holbrook. Honestly and truly, and I got to know a community that I would not have otherwise known at all, and I have great admiration for the people of Holbrook. Working class, pride in their community. I think the Holbrook Sun has a community profile every week, and they ask somebody from the community each week, what's the best thing about Holbrook? And inevitably, every single time for the last 20 years, the answer is its people, by every community person they ask. And that's absolutely the truth. Town government, I was just thankful to be able to work there when I did, because it kept personally kept me in tune with municipal government, which is something I love.
What did you think was if you could pick one thing that was an accomplishment for the period there, what would it be? What did you contribute back to the team?
I think I added energy to government there. I think there was, I don't want to, I think that there was a feeling that, well, we can't do this in Holbrook. And when I went there, I think I exerted some energy. Think about Chapter 90 money, which is the state money you receive for paving of streets and sidewalks. Not nearly enough, by the way. Do you know that Chapter 90 money in Holbrook hadn't been spent in 10 years and had stockpiled to about $2.5 million? Can you imagine?
It's a lot of money for the town.
I was like, beautiful, let's go. We're gonna start paving streets. We had a sewer line that hadn't been extended, 20% of the town had not received their sewer, were not online. Plans had been drawn probably 7 years before. Money had been borrowed, it was sitting in the town's coffers, not been spent. And we said, let's brush it off and get it going, and we completed that. Water main projects that had been passed at town meeting for years that hadn't been done yet. We started doing water main projects. I mean, the whole town was cooking with steam, I like to say, with paving, water main projects, sewer line extensions. I brought the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office to a project with their inmates and their workers, and we renovated an entire portion of City Hall, which had previously been a garage for the fire department, and we built a beautiful selectman meeting room that was previously in just a little, room to the side, and more office space. The cost, and in addition to that beautiful town hall as well, the total cost $300,000. New HVAC, new handicap bathrooms, new windows, new floorings, new electrical, chandeliers, new furniture, an addition with a kitchenette for the employees. $300,000 it cost the taxpayers of Holbrook. Unbelievable, with the help of Norfolk County Sheriff's Office, inmates working side by side with the workers. And I look at Quincy and I see the City Hall, the great historic City Hall. Now let me tell you, when you go in there after it's complete, you're going to be, wow, look at this. But, $14-15 million to gut an historic building from the dirt floor to the rafters. And I question that. I question the priority of that. And I'm not sure I would have done it in that manner. So Holbrook was just a wonderful experience. And the other part of it was town meeting, which was...
I was going to ask you about that. That's a slightly different approach.
I remember the first town meeting, I was like, wait a minute, we have to go to the entire town to ask to spend money? I'm not sure how this process works, But it was good for me to go through that. I have a reputation of being, I hope decisive and more of an executive, and that helped my skills in terms of consensus building. Not that we always agreed on every issue. In fact, there were issues that I expressed opinions on that much of the public didn't agree on. But that's something that I think is important as well. Dialogue and debate in democracy is healthy, not unhealthy. And I think we've lacked that in Quincy as well over the past 8 years.
You mentioned the City Hall renovation. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the whole Adams Green pedestrian way project.
Yeah, it comes down to priorities again. The vision that was created while I was in office when we hired Goody Clancy, a very prominent urban design firm, to hold public charrettes in outreach to the public to see what their hopes and dreams were for the downtown. Envisioned public space. And quite honestly, the idea, I don't know if it was my idea, but it first really came to life under my administration. But like many things, the cost ballooned out of control. If I got in there at this point with the Adams Green initiative, I think just like I did with the Marymount Park project that had been stalled for years and years, but the vision was there. We took an approach that we're not going to spend what we don't have, first of all, because right now it's a $38 million project with no funding to pay for it. The governor was nice enough to give a $4 million grant My administration received 2 grants for the